Alright guys, I'm doing a little test here because I'm genuinely curious. I saw this in the store for some time and I just completely dismiss it. Every time I see stuff like this, I'm just like, whatever, I'm not going to buy that. It's 15 bucks. Probably will never catch a fish in a million years. But I decided to try it anyway. Why not, you know? Let's have a little fun. If there's any lake I feel like I can catch bass on crazy lures, it's Kachuma. It's the Beaver. So look at this guy. Do you think this thing can catch a fish? So it's supposed to represent like a little rodent of some kind. I know it looks just like a beaver, but it's supposed to look like a little mouse or rat or some little rodent that big bass like to eat. So if I can put this around bushes near shore, I don't know, I think it's got a pretty good chance. If you do it slow, it's a wake bait on top of on the surface. If you do it a little faster, you see that lip there, it goes under the water and swims pretty cool. So I'm gonna throw this, and I also want to know, what is the craziest lure you've ever caught a fish on? Because I'm gonna do a series. I'm gonna start throwing some crazy lures and just see what happens. So when throwing the beaver, I've discovered you got to find the right water. So in this case, I'm throwing it near shore, near sticks, where I hope there's a big bass. So I'm throwing it near these sticks, you know, in kind of shallow water, places where you may not think big bass would be, but, you know, rodents like this, you know, might be. So maybe there's a big bass hanging around and he sees this big thing waking and decides he wants to munch it. So if you look close at the beaver, you go fast and it swims underwater. It's pretty cool looking. But if you go slow on the surface, it has this nice motion here. See? Like a little mouse or something. If you're allowed to throw it near the dock, man, make sure you have the right rod and reel for these big lures. This is a pretty good setup here, this E6X. Heavy, 7'1", fast, 14 to 20 pounds. I think I've got 20 pounds on here now. It's kind of a good rod and reel setup for, you know, like not quite big swim baits, but smaller swim baits, spinner baits I've thrown on this, you know, some of the bigger top water stuff. In fact, I may end up using this for striper at Keitech, put a big old top water on. I like the spinning setup for the striper because it's less hassle. I mean, this thing, it hasn't gotten tangled up yet, but this thing happens to get tangled, you know, in the middle of a striper hunt, you are Alright. So I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that beaver makes a lot of noise. It's like click, 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 and it looks great. So throughout the day, anytime I come across some beaver water, I'm gonna throw this puppy, and that means like steep cliffs or you know, sticks and things like that where you think that a rodent might fall in the water or something. So yeah, it's all about the beaver. So a lot of you might ask like why I don't throw big swim baits more or big lures like this more for big bass. And that's because so far I'm renting boats, and it would be very expensive to rent a boat and throw big baits only to get like 1 or 2 bites a month. It would make for some very lame content and very boring videos. So that is why. That's why when I do throw swim baits for a few hours, it's usually from shore. Looks good. Beaver looks good. It's a good looking beaver. Look at that tail. There was a chipmunk over there, and now there's a deer. Seen bobcats out here. Pretty cool. Treating this like it's a big swim bait. So you see this corner here. Seems like a decent place to throw it. Oh, just like one strike on the big beeve here. That'd be so cool. Oh, I go. No way. How cool is that? No way. No way. No way. This bass ate the beaver. Alright guys, I seriously cannot believe this. This bass ate this big old beaver lure. I was throwing it, you know, obviously for big fish, but almost just kind of on a lark. And this bass ate this big beaver. How crazy is that? Alright guys, how cool was that? To actually catch a fish on that beaver lure is insane to me. And I was just throwing it, hoping that there'd be some top water here because these bass are so aggressive, but to catch a little bass on that big old lure, it just shows you, man, you can catch them on anything at this lake. So, oops. So yeah, I'm gonna keep throwing it, because why not, man? God, now if that was like a 5 or 8 pounder, that would have been so cool. Looks like prime beaver water. So, we are gonna throw the beaver. This is what I'm talking about, these sticks back here like this. Or like a field mouse or a chipmunk or something. Oh, I thought I saw something wake on it. Oh yeah, there is. There's a little fish following it. So fish are interested in it. Obviously I caught one already on it, but there was some fish waking on it. Little. But they're interested. Sometimes throwing something that's completely weird gets their curiosity going. All the wildlife you know they're eating. So as old Bill Dan says, when you're doing top water, throw it, let it sit, let the ripples die. Oh, that's a big carp. I thought that was a giant bass. And then let it do its thing. So I'm throwing the beaver back here. Gotten a few follows. One waked on it, little guy. I just had a nice one follow it up. So gotta employ the Seaman-Tall. Oh, you kidding me? Are you kidding? Or are you kidding? It's a good fish. Are you kidding? Are you joking? Are you joking right now? Is this a joke? I can't believe this, guys. Honestly. I mean, looks great back here. Looks like it would be some of these top water. But to actually get fish on this bait is kind of unbelievable. This dude wanted that beaver. Great job, buddy. The problem with catching a fish on something like that, now I am hooked on the beaver. Deploy the beaver. See how aggressive these fish are. Oh, look, he had some followers. Look at that little baby school. Followed the beeve. Oh, oh. This is my third beaver fish. So I'm going to show you, yeah, if you can see this ledge where all these fish are, there's a ledge right in the water there. I dragged the beaver right to it, and right on that ledge is where homie came and smashed it. Perfect ambush point for something like this. And honestly, like I said, why would I throw anything else right now? If I can find more points like this, which this lake is full of them. See this, it's got followers, man. Yeah, they want it. They don't know what to think about this thing. All right, guys, what did you think about the beaver? I mean, I kind of started throwing it as a joke. I kept seeing it in the store at Dick's, and I was just like, man, does this thing catch fish? You know, does anyone throw it? And I kind of just was throwing it like as a joke, but it's actually a pretty cool wake bait. And honestly, who knows, you can get them at any lake. You know, it's a top water type thing and it's kind of cool, but just Kachuma, these fish are hungry. As Jim says, these are stupid fish, but I'm okay with that. I like stupid fish because you can catch them on anything, and seeing them get this beaver was just ridiculous. So yeah, that's just, I'm gonna try some more crazy lures in the next few videos, and it's mostly just to try new things, have a little fun, and just kind of show you that, like, and show myself, honestly, that, like, you know, you can try all kinds of new things, different tactics, new baits, weird stuff. And, you know, it's all about, like, having fun and throwing something different and trying new things. And it's, you know, it's cool, you know, it helps you sort of grow as a fisherman, and learn, you know. You throw something as a joke and it gets a couple of nice topwater bites, including the biggest fish. Next thing you know, maybe I want to try some other wake baits or some other big baits like that. So anyway, try weird new things because it's a lot of fun. The end.